I'm going to tell you a story about an event that happened to me when I was in high school. It was a racially motivated event. I went to high school, I believe, between 1985 and 1989. I was a class of 89. So what happened was there were a group of 4 people who were male. At least one was black. And I believe the majority of them were white. And they got into some sort of a fight. And it was determined that it was some sort of racially motivated fight. Maybe someone said something that was racially motivated. You know, you didn't hear it. You just hear what other people are saying. Don't really know what happened. And some kids did a sit-in. They showed up on the bus, but they refused to enter the building to go into class. And I saw one of my friends. I said, "Why are you doing this? Go into class. Forget about this. Sit-in is stupid." You know? And the school, you know, they panic. And they say, well, every student now has to go through sensitivity training. Like, this is stupid. I'm not involved with this. I didn't pick this fight with these people. And then there were things like, well, it wasn't racially motivated. Something happened where someone was able to prove that it wasn't racially motivated. I don't remember why. But it was like, wow, this is big news. It ends up it wasn't racially motivated. I can't remember what the thing was. Or someone had lied about something that had happened. And they're saying, well, now, guess what? It didn't happen. And the schools panic, and then they say, well, we've got to have now programs for sensitivity training for everybody about racism and about fighting. I don't remember what it was all about. But the thing that was important is that it disrupted the school. And it wasn't so much that the event happened. It was the way the school handled it. They made it just too big of a deal. It's like, don't bother us with this stupid nonsense. We were not involved. We were not involved. We didn't witness it. We just heard that it happened. And it happened on campus. What if it happened off campus? Nobody would care. The school would not be involved. It's because it happened on campus. Why don't you do this training just for the kids that were involved and exclude everybody else? Now, the other issue is, if you had said to me, in the future, there will be a racial fight or some sort of a fight on campus at the high school, who do you think would do it? I know. Him. Whatever the guy's name was. I don't remember what his name was. Guess what? He was the guy that did it. I mean, it's not like he was a sweet guy oh yeah, he's not a troublemaker. No, this was the kid who all of my life, because he went to elementary school with me, was causing trouble and picking fights with everybody. That's who he was, and he would pick on me and pick fights with me. And he lived near me. I don't remember his name. And he would be the one who was involved with drugs and smoking and alcohol and dirty, and he hated his parents. And his parents were mean to him. I think he might have been the one where the father burnt the cigarette on his arm. I don't remember. And I was like, I got it bad, but you tell me stories that you got it worse than me. My father would never put a cigarette on my arm, but he did other things that were bad. And my mother could go on and on about all the bad things she did. So it's like they know who these people are. They know who the troublemakers are. Why is it that they disrupt everyone in the school, make everybody feel guilty, make everyone feel bad about something, or make people feel that they might be someone who will do something wrong in the future, or that you don't know how to speak properly, when it was just one person? I went to a white high school, 95% white, 1% black, and if you were a foreigner, in general, you had to conform to the white culture. That's the way it was. There were some people that did not. There were very few people that... No, I would say in general, everybody did. Everyone who was a foreigner really, really fit in to everybody else. But unless you talk to them in depth and really get to know them, you find, okay, this guy's a foreigner, because they had their perspective. And first generation American, I should mention that. That's why all my friends were foreigners. I have nothing against foreigners. So people had the foreigners and minorities. A Chinese kid, I don't remember. I knew like one Chinese kid in high school, and he was a really cool kid. And he wasn't popular, like everybody loved him. But when you're around him, like this kid's cool. It's cool to hang around with this kid. And it's like there was a beautiful black girl in my class. I remember she was really beautiful. Just bringing back memories. So I remember 2 black people two black students is what I remember in my high school, and we had like 4,000 students. So it was a white school. But the point that I'm making is that schools overreact. Students overreact. The schools used to overreact. Now the students are going psycho. They overact way too much about things that have nothing to do with them. What other people are doing, if someone else is misbehaving, why do you have to cry about it and worry about it? It's none of your business. It doesn't affect you. It's gonna happen when you're in college too. And then at some point, it's going to be over. Once you get out of college, you're not going to have to deal with these problems. And you're going to realize that a mature person doesn't fret over the misbehavior of other students that curse or say racist things to instigate something or hit somebody. I had my shorts pulled down in front of everybody in gym class. Had things like that happen. You don't. The kids today are snowflakes, and I don't mind calling somebody a snowflake. I play video games, and there's so many snowflakes. I don't want this aspect of the game. They should remove it from the game. It's like, come on, learn how to play. Learn how to play. If you learn how to play, you're going to succeed. When you're in college, the college will bend over backwards to do whatever you say because you're paying the college. That's why you get a safe space. When you work, which is your goal after college, they're not going to give you a safe space. They're not going to listen to you cry. You got to be a big boy and a big girl. You're not paying them. They're paying you. And they're going to tell you if you have frets and worries because somebody smoked or somebody touched your shoulder or somebody is wearing a shirt that shows their belly button or you don't like someone's nose ring and whatever different things, or you don't like the word that somebody said, or you don't like the pronoun that somebody said, they're not going to tolerate that. If I had an employee that said to me, Dave, when you were talking, you did not address this person using the proper pronoun, I'd be, thank you. And then I would go to the manager and say, fire this guy. And that would be it. I would not tolerate that. I would not tolerate that among one of my employees. You're not here to tell me about your pronoun or about what a polite word is and what an impolite word is or about what language I should use when I speak to someone. You're not here to do that. You're here to do work. You come in, you do your work, and I'm in my office doing my work. And then when you're done, you go home and I go home. That's most of the interaction between the two of us. Sometimes I have to have a meeting where I have to talk to people. I use figurative speech. I make jokes. Guess what? People take jokes wrong all the time. I'm going to give you an example. We had an incident where somebody wanted to sue me because we were handing out pamphlets. We rented a van. The van had to park. We got off, and I said, we're going to eat at a restaurant afterwards. And so meet here when you're done, and we're going to go to a restaurant afterwards. And she said, what do we do if there's nobody here? I said, use your brain. We'll be at the look at the nearest restaurant or just wait here. And because I said use your brain, she wanted to sue me. She was offended. It was a huge thing, and I had to fire her. I had to tell the manager, I said, she is slated to be fired, not today, but if she does the slightest screw up, you fire her, and she will be fired within X amount of time. She's next on the list to be fired, and that's it. And it was sad because I liked her. I thought she was cool, but she didn't like figurative speech. She would be the one who would ask stupid questions, and I would say, I wouldn't say you're a stupid idiot. I don't say things like that. But I would make a joke. I joke around. And I learned from having employees, you cannot make jokes with anybody. You just can't do it. I had to stop making jokes with people because they take everything the wrong way. They overreact to everything, and it ruined my business. My business, eventually, I had to fire everybody except for 5 people. I had to fire 25 people because they had all sorts of weird obsessions about a word that I said or about a word that was printed on a piece of paper, which I didn't do. It was a mistake that somebody else made, that had a different meaning to them than it had to the rest of the world, because they couldn't hand out a flyer that was involved with something that they disagreed with something on a flyer that is not against the law, not illegal, but it was something that was work related. And what I did, I'm going to give you the example. I said, I want you to do this and this and this. We'll go to here and we'll go there and we'll go there. We'll hand out the flyers. We'll talk to these people, etc. And the story. And they all refused. They said, no, we're not going to do it. I don't hand out flyers. And they didn't even know what was on the flyer yet. And we had lots of problems with this with this crap. And I said, okay, make a proposal to me as to what you were going to do. And they made a proposal to me as to how they would deliver these flyers. And when they finished their proposal, it was exactly what I had proposed to them. And many people ended up refusing to work, refusing to hand out flyers. I was told that someone just threw them all in the garbage. And I was angry with the flyers too. The flyer issue was not my problem. What happened was I said, we need flyers for this. Somebody went and did it and printed them without me reviewing it. And the first thing I said was, that's not our phone number. So, yeah, but it'll be our phone number next week. I was like, oh, God, you have never run a business before. You don't put a phone number in a flyer until it's already on. And guess what happened? The phone number did not work on the day that we handed out the flyers. They had to cross out the numbers because employees actually volunteered to do it. They crossed out all the numbers and wrote down the other phone number because we had two phone numbers. And there was something printed. I don't remember what it was, but they printed something on it that sounded really, really dumb because they're not fluent in English. They make mistakes. They don't know the word earn. They can't say how much money do you earn. They say how much money do you win. And when you put that in an ad, to save money, they put win money. It has an opposite meaning. So we had problems. There were problems with the graphics team making the flyers and the banner ads and things like that. They didn't understand English perfectly because I was in a foreign country. They weren't all fluent in English. But you could converse with them. So, and you get the meaning and you know the differences. So people way overreacted to this. I didn't like it either. People told them that the police approached them and the police were confused by the flyers. And people that were receiving the flyers were complaining. And I was like, I wish I had never seen these effing flyers. And I told the guy who did this, I said, I told you a long time ago, anytime I ask you to do something that I will review it and approve it before it gets printed. He didn't do it this time. And I later found out, to believe it or not, that he wanted the idea to fail and he told people not to work and all this stuff. And I didn't know it at the time because he thought I would give up and then move on to something else. But what I did was I gave up and I fired people. And then I only had 5 employees and I started a new business. And that's what the point that I'm making is that you can take something that's small and insignificant, blow it out of proportions. The management can do it, the school can do it, your friends can do it, your family can do it, strangers can do it, and it can absolutely destroy you to the core. Another example is that there was a forum that was popular, and a person posted something that someone else didn't like, and that person responded by posting a photo of a toilet. Someone removed the photo of the toilet. I would have. Because I want intelligent discussion on my forum. Then you had arguments, free speech. You're denying free speech, and there are other people saying this is offensive. We don't want to see a toilet in the website. And his forum died, and he said he was out of business. That's what happens. People can kill your friendship, your business, your family over stupid nonsense. People overreact, and that's what people are doing today in this country, and it's destroying everything. I can't have a political discussion with my family. And I am a moderate. I look at both points of views. I am not a alt anything. I am a moderate. Everybody in my family is a Democrat. And I am a moderate, but I am conservative moderate. Fiscal libertarian. Can't discuss politics with them. Children do not take on the politics of their parents. Not true. There's certain topics that I won't talk to people about because as an adult, I'm like, it's just not worth the discussion. I do not post on forums anymore. I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth all the bad things that can come out of identifying who you are and having a crazy person read it. When Donald Trump was elected, I was watching a live news feed on YouTube, and you could chat. And there was a black woman who was saying, kill all white men. And she just kept saying it over and over and over again. And we just sat there and made fun of her. And it really, really, really got out of hand. We started saying absolutely ridiculous things. I don't remember all the jokes that I was making, but there was one that really triggered some guy who had an Arabic name. And he said, you can look at my account name for this channel. And he quoted that name to address me. And he said, shut up, you racist, or something like that. I said, hey, relax, we're just joking. He said, no, you racist, shut up. I said, no, relax. And other people were defending me and saying, no, we're just joking. You have to relax. He's just telling jokes. We're just making fun of this black girl who keeps on saying, kill all white men, or whatever she was talking about. And she wasn't joking. She was serious about it. So I don't remember what we were saying. I remember making jokes about Canada, and everybody, and like if I had started talking about Canada, other people would start talking about bacon and maple syrup and Molson Gold, and so we were having fun chatting. So blowing things out of proportion, you may have heard there's a movie about like an alien who meets some guy who's in a mental institution. And the guy says, oh, this alien guy, he said that there's 3 things that are the key to happiness. He told me one, but I got to figure out the other 2. I know what these 3 things are. You might be familiar with this movie. Maybe it was Kevin Spacey who was the alien in the movie. And the keys to happiness is having no worries. If you have things that you have to do, do them and finish them. The other one is think happy thoughts. Be a happy person. Think good thoughts. Don't think bad thoughts. The other one is help people, but I added help people in a beneficial, mutually beneficial relationship, meaning you help people and you're receiving some sort of benefit by helping people, enjoyment or whatever. You don't help people to bankrupt yourself. And those are the keys to happiness. And we have people today who are being offended easily by everything, and they're worrying about these things, and it is against the rules of the keys of happiness, and these people are not going to be happy. Younger people today have to learn that it's very dangerous for them to go down that path. It's going to be a long, painful path if everything offends you. Like I said, nothing offends me. People offend me all the time, and I don't say anything. I don't get angry about it. I'm constantly being offended about the fact that I'm short, being Italian. When I was in college, what is your major? Computer science. No woman would ever speak to me again after I said computer science. That was instant termination of relationship with a woman. I was really offended by that. There's other things that offend me. I'm not going to go into all of them. Okay, so I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.